I'm Yanis Yanguar, and in this casual tutorial we are going to learn how to build ourselves a town in 4 easy steps. Step 1 is going to get villagers. Step 2, build our town. Step 3, create an economy. Step 4, home sweet home. So let's dive right in. So, step 1. We need to find villagers. You can't have a village without any villagers. So the 3 ways we can get villagers is that we have villager zombies that we cure with a golden apple. That takes time. We don't got time. We can go in creative and get some villager eggs, which I highly recommend. Or my personal favorite, conquer a village. Take a village over. Alright, so once we will have, we were going to assume you'd conquered a village because that's so easy. And then we're going to move into the gathering sites. If you already conquered a village, you probably will have a bell already there. We were going to need more bells. I would recommend creative, but you can find them all over the world actually. So what is a village? Technically speaking, a village is villagers, beds, and that's it. Technically speaking, you don't even need houses, but you know, things get attacked. Then when you want to make it a little bit more sophisticated, you need the gathering sites, which is the bell, and then we have jobs. And then when we get to the jobs point, we want to create an economy. I found the best way to do this, again, this is a casual approach, is to just district it. What are you going to need the most? You're going to need farmers, you're going to need homes, you're going to need military work, you know, your weapons, armor, tools, bows, and then if you feel like it, you want to go a little bit more advanced, you need your librarians and your cartographers. And the ones that I found not too much in handy is the leather worker, the butcher, fisherman, cleric, and shepherd. I mean, they come in handy for, you know, what you need necessarily, but not really. Maybe the leather worker at most, but you know. And then final and the best one ever is home sweet home. Is you have your own home and you have everything you need. That's all. Let's see what that looks like. Hi, I'm Yanis. I'm here to conquer your town. And now that I have a town conquered, we see that there's a bell. Wow, a bell. Personally, I like to use the bells as the center points for the village. So to keep in mind, the bell is that they have approximately a 32 block radius. So 32 blocks out, they will pretty much, any resident will be attached to it. It doesn't matter if they're not even 32 blocks where their bed is. It doesn't matter when they come in the range, they will be attached to it. That is the gathering site. So we will have to keep in mind that we probably would maybe think we need a bell every 32 blocks. Potentially, that's one way to think of it. But there's other ways to think of it too, because you got to keep in mind, you don't want chaos. Look at this chaos of this sprawling town that I've created over the years. Alright, so here's just a quick cheat sheet of the recipes for all the job sites, and really the only important ones I think at the end of the day that you are most likely going to ever actually use are going to be the farmer, the armorer, cartographer, fletcher, the librarian, toolsmith, and the weaponsmith. Now I know there's other uses that these job sites have, and they do come in handy, so keep that part in mind for your own personal uses later. Alright, so the one thing I love to do is I like to exploit the mechanics. So, for example, we're gonna see here, as you see here, we have this farm that has 1 mortar, but it will wet 4 blocks out. So every direction 4 blocks. Additionally, I have a composter added in this middle block on the 5th block at every point in the middle. This will ensure that a villager will harvest whatever this crop is at every point. In addition, I have an example house that I can build to exploit the mechanics. This is just a small one. The way that this works is that it just has beds would take up to 2 blocks, and then you have a line of openness next to it. So you have bed, 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 line, bed, 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 line, bed, 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 so on and so forth. And then you have your job sites, which I would put around the outside of the building. And then when they just leave their house, they would just go to their job site, and you know, whatever's closest. This you can make the main ones, for example. this will be like, say, this is the weaponsmith, armorsmith, and so on and so forth. They can just chill there, and since this is the main house, you know where they're at. And I just put 2 because I like to use, that's the sweet spot I found. You can use more if you want, of course. Now, as I said, I district this out. I have the agricultural district, which I found that if you can integrate that better within the village itself rather than having it in its own place, it will work out better for population explosions. And then we have the homes, that's the beds specifically, I told you about that. And then we'll have the military, you pick a spot for that. I would recommend building a library for the cartographer and the librarian themselves, and then you can just put the lesser known guild works over in a place wherever, You just really need 1 or 2 of each, maybe 3, depending on how you want to play your stuff with that. And then at the end of the day, you just build your home. And so, as I showed you, we have the bell right here, and this will cover a 32 block range. Any residents, any villagers that are in this 32 block range will use this as their gathering site. So, as you can see, I have the library right here with the job sites in there. I have dozens of job sites around here, and they will all go to this job site, or rather have all these jobs blocks, and they will all go to this job site in the middle. And then, like for example, as I said, you should probably put a farm, like maybe like right here, or rather even put it right there actually, and it would help with the circulation of food for faster population growth, especially for being so close to the bell. And then you just repeat the patterns, and the more jobs and the more diversity you have in those jobs, not necessarily diversity, you can specialize in a few. I actually abuse farming and Fletcher and one other thing I forget off the top of my head the most, and that's how easy it is. And then, as I said, at the end of the day, you will have your bustling city with your various job sites just sitting there waiting to get some emeralds, and some of them are going to be richer than others. And as you can see, I just have the farms in various places. I have a thing for farms, so that's why they're so lush. And that's how you do it. And then you just place the bell a little bit over more. As you can, I have a bell right here, but the population isn't really there because they're currently doing their daily chores, which are also over here. And then I also have a bell right here too. Again, 32 blocks. And then you'll have your own easy to made town too. See ya.